Al Rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex supermodel, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno-monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code and this is the Forex Supermodel Daily Briefing for Friday the 15th of January 2021. The time is 0450, 10 to 5 in the morning GMT. Asian session coming to a close, European session firing up, and our lunchtime in the UK is the North American US session. So I've written up yesterday's flows just to get us going. So right, Thursday the 14th, which was yesterday, we had the pound acting as the unopposed positive driver at plus 122. So we've got no backdoor flows, but we've got front door flows going fairly evenly out of the dollar, minus 55 as the negative secondary driver, and the euro not too far behind at minus 45 as the negative mover, and the yen as the negative rock. And that was an activity of plus or minus 122. So let's have a look at the intra-week. So this is at its most relevant now because we're on Friday. So we've got the most data. So intra-week. Right, and remember that's from Monday, the 11th, open. So pretty much the whole week now. Right, we've got euro, dollar, yen on the negative, euro, dollar, yen on the negative, and pound on its own on the positive. So we've got plus 345 on the pound, minus 14 on the yen, minus 49 on the dollar, and minus 282 on the euro. So we've got a positive unopposed driver in the pound, a negative rock in the yen, a negative mover in the dollar, and a negative secondary driver in the euro. And this was on activity of plus or minus 345. So what that basically means is that during the week, the pound complex, excuse me, has basically gained 345 points or pips, and the pound complex is the short pound complex, as you understand here, made up of pound dollar, euro pound, and pound yen. Right, final bit of data then is the intraday flows, which has been what's happening so far today. So it's Friday the 15th, which is where we are. Friday the 15th of the 1st, and this is from the open to about 15-20 minutes ago. So what have we got? We've got pound euro on the negative, and we've got dollar yen on the positive. We've got plus 16 on the yen, plus 13 on the dollar, minus 11 on the euro, and minus 18 on the pound. The pound just has it as the negative opposed driver. It's opposed by the euro, so that's the negative rock. Positive mover in the dollar, and a positive secondary driver in the yen, and that's on activity of plus or minus 29. Right, so let's make some sense out of this then. So let's just dig out where we are. Right, couple of things to look at then. So what's going to knock this around again? Well, we're on Friday now. We've got US retail sales, Richmond, Michigan, even consumer sentiment. So we've got US data coming out really today. Monday we've got China GDP, and then what you've got to look at really is that we're getting near to this sort of little cluster of interest rate decisions next week. Wednesday is the CAD, Thursday is the yen and the euro. So bear that in mind when we're boxing this in. So let's just look at what's been happening then. So yesterday we had pound strength right through the board really. We had fairly even flows out of the dollar and the euro, with the yen being fairly static. Over the week, if you look, the yen has been pretty much static here, minus 14, with quite large swings on the euro and the pound. So over the week the pound has been driving positively, although that's not the whole story, because if you remember, let's just shuffle this again. Basically we had quite a successful trade on the Tuesday the 12th. We've done a video about that, where we were long the pound dollar, pound USD, and the trigger for that earlier was dollar strength. So earlier in the week, Monday and intra week early Tuesday, we had dollar strength, which has now mutated to pound strength. So that's something to bear in mind. Right. So and then finally, if we look at what's been happening today so far. So this is what the Asian session's been up to. We've got fairly balanced flows, but we've got a negative opposed driver in the pound, and coming out, going back, front and back door flows, basically going into the yen and the dollar, with the euro being a little bit soft as well. So that's what's been happening so far today. So if you notice then, the pound has actually started coming off a bit in the Asian session, because we're now in this sort of, yesterday it was the unopposed positive driver. Over the week it's been having swapped with the dollar to be the positive driver. It's now they're starting to think about taking some weight off the pound. Right, so let's just think where we're going to be then. So we're not actually in any trades. We haven't been in any trades since getting out early on Wednesday, which was the 14th. Sorry, the 13th. But however, let's look what we think is going to happen today then. So you've got this pound strength, unopposed positive pound strength, which is normally one of two things. Again, it's either a top in the pound, or it's the start of a ramp up. We've had a pretty good ramp up, and we're starting to see signs of the pound coming off in the Asian session here, minus 18. It's the opposed negative driver. So arguably the evidence is greater that it's a short-term top in the pound, so you're likely to see maybe pound weakness today. Right, the euro has been pretty much hammered off. So you've got to remember, if these flows come out of the pound, they've got to go somewhere, and we've got the yen and the dollar as the options. Right, so the yen, yesterday we thought we were going to get a positive euro yen trade, in principle, off the back of equity transmissions. We got the rise in the equity transmissions off the back of the stimulus bill, although it was fairly lightweight, but it didn't transmit into yen weakness. So that trade sort of fell by the wayside. But we're looking at then the equity market has been thumped down, and it's now at a daily support. Likewise for gold, etc. So what are we looking at here? We've got complex flows out of the pound, we believe, and the overall situation on the markets, they're quite twitchy at the moment. So we don't necessarily think we're going to get a fairly neutral yen. I mean, obviously, if we get an equity sell-off, the yen will start shooting up. So that leaves us with the euro and the dollar. Now, the dollar has come off recently, and the euro has been hammered. We're not seeing anything that's going to radically change this. So we think that the euro is going to remain soft, because they normally like to rub it in the market, and the dollar is likely to start to regain a little bit of ground. But these are relatively difficult flows, and we don't have the secondary boost of the economic calendar, which is going to help us out. Next week is a different story. Now, so if you want to be positioned today, I think the best place to be, look for pound softness generally, and keep an eye out for the equity transmission. And the euro they normally like to rub it in, particularly on the euro pound. That's at daily lows, but could go a fair bit lower. So be on the short side on the pound, and think about the other situation. Think about being shortish euro, and maybe a little bit of dollar strength. So I know that's a little bit vague for today, but that's just the way the market is at the moment. So hope that helped. See you for the weekend review, and if not, the Monday briefing. Thank you very much.